Happy Friday, April the 12th, everyone. Hunter here at North Central Weather Center, and in today's weather forecast, we are going to be looking at a significant warming trend for the weekend with sun-splashed skies, but a weather pattern as we go into next week, which does include the threat for significant severe weather, and then another cool down later next week. So a bumpy weather pattern ahead. So if you are not a subscriber here to North Central Weather Center, consider hitting the subscribe button down below so I can keep you safe from the storms this spring and summer season and throughout the year. Also, be sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Let's get into today's weather forecast for your Friday, April the 12th. Looking at our temperatures this morning, starting off pretty chilly here across the north central states into the upper 20s, low 30s out west with middle and upper 40s out east, and dry weather with that ridge of high pressure starting to work in. The north central states is on the northeast quadrant of this ridge of high pressure today, which means our temperatures will begin to trend warmer as we go into this afternoon, especially out west, closer to that ridge of high pressure. Into the 60s we go across the Dakotas, Nebraska, getting into the 70s further south into Kansas, a little chillier across the upper Great Lakes regions and into the Ohio Valley, into the 50s and 40s for highs this afternoon as you're a little bit further away from that ridge of high pressure. Let's look at our precipitation today. A little bit of some wet weather as well. That will also keep us cooler across Michigan into portions of the Ohio Valley, but sun-splashed skies out west here across most of the plains into the upper Midwest and the lower Midwest today, and clear skies as we go into tonight all across the board. So a wonderful end to the work week. And looking at the precipitation through Saturday morning, really not much out there across the east either. A few hundredths to a tenth or two of an inch of rainfall is all that we can expect out there into the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. Going into the weekend, Saturday, April 13th into Sunday, April the 14th time frame, the ridge of high pressure starts to move east. We're in the middle of that here, so definitely seeing some warmer weather kicking in for Saturday. Look at the 80s going all the way up into South Dakota, into Minnesota there, widespread 60s even out east where it's cooler today. And then as we go into Saturday night, look at that, folks. We're only dropping into the 40s, 50s, even 60s down here into the Ozarks region, southern Illinois, Kentucky, and southern portions of Indiana for lows. So a higher springboard of which to start. And that means our temperatures on Sunday will be even warmer. Look at that, 90 degrees, low 90s possible in central and southern Kansas in our southern viewing area for your Sunday afternoon. But widespread sun-splashed skies should get temperatures back into the 60s and 70s for Sunday afternoon across the majority of the north central United States. With the ridge of high pressure comes mostly dry weather. Now, with that said, there is a small disturbance on the apex of the ridge that will start to move itself around the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes Saturday and into Saturday night. That could lead to a few rain showers, some isolated thunderstorm activity for far northern Wisconsin into the UP of Michigan. I don't expect much from this. No severe weather for Saturday, but the rest of us, lots of sunshine here underneath the influence of our ridge of high pressure. Sunday comes along. A lot of us, 99% of us, stay dry as we go into Sunday and into Sunday night time frame. So definitely keeping an eye on that. But looking here out east into our eastern viewing area, eastern Indiana, Ohio here, Cincinnati, into the Columbus and the Akron region over here, we could be keeping an eye on an isolated strong or severe storm, mainly producing a damaging wind gust to 60 miles per hour or some quarter-size hail. Really not that big of a deal. The tornado threat is exceptionally low. Looking at the weekend overall, that disturbance may bring us some lighter precipitation across North Dakota, north central Minnesota, far northern Wisconsin, over here into the UP of Michigan, lower Michigan, into the Ohio Valley on the northeastern quadrant of that ridge where that disturbance will ride around here from the northern plains through the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley. Probably talking around a quarter of an inch of rain at most out of this here, so really not that much. Now, early next week here on Monday, April the 15th into Tuesday, April the 16th time frame, we have a new storm system we're keeping an eye eye on. That'll be back into the Four Corners region outside of our area on Monday, but starting to eject across the plains into the Midwest on Tuesday. And this is going to bring some bumpy weather, folks. The Storm Prediction Center, already several days out, is confident in severe weather here. It has a slight risk of severe weather extending from Des Moines back through Omaha here, the Lincoln and Hastings region, down into Topeka, the Wichita area, and also into Kansas City. Actually, Wichita is in that 30%, into that enhanced risk, already a level 3 out of 5 there into southern Kansas for Monday. So let's look at that setup here. Sharp dry line moving across the Great Plains. Out ahead of that, warm dew points into the 60s, so the moisture will be moving northward from the Gulf of Mexico. Instability values will be moderate to strong, 1,000 to as much as 3,000 joules per kilogram Monday into Monday night, and a pretty potent mid-level jet streak across the base of that trough is going to organize some of those storms, and the low-level jet could help to rotate those storms into Monday night. So let's look here at the general timing. This may change over the next few days. We will keep you covered, but just in general, Monday morning looking dry. As we go into the afternoon, supercell and intense supercell thunderstorms will be possible. All modes of severe weather, tornadoes, possibly strong tornadoes over EF2 strength, and looking at large to very large hail and some damaging straight line winds. Becoming more organized Monday evening, Monday night, especially as that low-level jet really begins to crank up after dark here. This is what we could look for, a nocturnal tornado threat there into Kansas especially, but possibly also another area of interest up near the track of the surface low into Iowa, where we could start to rotate some of those storms as well on Monday evening, Monday night. That doesn't stop there. Tuesday, that pushes further east. The Storm Prediction Center, again, several days out, has a slight risk of severe weather, this time up into central Wisconsin from La Crosse over to Madison to Milwaukee, down into Des Moines again, into the Davenport Quad Cities region, Rockford, Illinois, Chicago, that stretches down into the Terre Haute region, Springfield and St. Louis, down to Springfield, Missouri, into Paducah, Kentucky. So a lot of areas here in the Midwest, Western Ohio Valley, in play with a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather on Tuesday. Setup remains the same. Dew points advecting north into around the 60-degree mark here. The higher dew points will be down into the Ozarks region and the foothills of Missouri into the mid-60s there on Tuesday. That's where the higher instability will be. A little bit of a lack of instability up in the Midwest, but what will take care of that lack of instability will be a very powerful mid-level jet cranking in from the south and west here on the base of this negatively tilted trough on Tuesday, and an even stronger low-level jet starting to organize and rotate some of these storms up around 60, 70 knots there Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. At the start of the period on Tuesday morning, we could be dealing with some supercell storms, mainly producing large hail and damaging winds, but an isolated tornado threat could persist even well after dark into the sunrise portion of our Tuesday. Going into Tuesday afternoon, triple point setup. We have a warm front draped across Wisconsin, cold front across central Iowa, low pressure system across portions of Minnesota there. That's where we're going to start to see more of those supercells develop along that cold front here, or just ahead of that. All modes severe weather, strong tornadoes, damaging straight line winds, and large to very large hail will be possible. That will move east into the Illinois Valley and Chicagoland area as we go into Tuesday evening. So make sure you're keeping an eye on the weather out there as we go in towards that time frame. Overall, this system, 2 days worth of heavy rain will be needed and definitely beneficial for some of us here into Iowa. We have an extreme drought ongoing. A couple inches of rain is what we like to see Monday into Tuesday here. And then as we go from mid to late week, Wednesday, April 17th through Friday, April 19th, a week from today, we have another storm dropping from Canada into the upper Midwest middle of next week. That will make its way into the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley later next week. And you can see more precipitation out east with rainfall here on Wednesday. Some snow, potentially a few snowflakes up here into North Dakota on Wednesday, and then that will make its way further south. Yes, when you're seeing blue on here in April, that means colder air is starting to move further south. The blue represents snowfall. Cold frontal boundary from Chicago back through St. Louis and down here into the Springfield, Jefferson City area there into Missouri could bring another bout of severe weather late in the week on Thursday night, and then that will move east out of our area on Friday, just leaving us with some colder rains and some snowflakes on the storm system's backside side for your Friday afternoon time frame. That second storm, Wednesday, April 17th through Friday, April 19th, will give us another ½ inch to inch of rain here, especially for our eastern areas, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, back into the mid-Missouri Valley in the Midwest. Definitely watching out for that as we're drying out further to the west across our western and northwestern viewing area. But those two systems combined, that 5-day period, Monday, April the 15th through Friday, April the 19th here, a week from today, beneficial rains for a lot of us up here. A lot of drought ongoing across the upper Midwest. This is a nice look to see because look at that. We have severe and extreme drought still ongoing here on the drought monitor for northeastern, eastern Iowa, and into southwest Wisconsin. Also a couple pockets up there into Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, all around. So we're definitely going to have some beneficial rain to help to improve that drought as we go into next week. Also, with that strong cold front, yes, our temperatures are going to start warm by the middle of next week, but look at the colder air, the below normal temperatures for the middle of April up there into the Dakotas. That will drop through our entire viewing area late next week. So by Friday the 19th, a week from today, temperatures, especially back into the central and high plains, could be 20 to 25 degrees below normal for our high temperatures by a week from today. So a little bit of a cool spell will be on its way later next week. So again, make sure if you are not a subscriber here to North Central Weather Center, you become a subscriber so we can keep you covered on the weather forecast across the North Central states this year. Also, be sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their week out there.